Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pac-12, episode 3 of the Pac-12 show. Thank you for joining us. Sorry we weren't able to get an episode out sooner. It's been very, very hectic these past few weeks for Kayden, Solo, and myself. As you see, or as you hear, Solo isn't here today. It is I, Brett, stepping in the captain's chair for Solomon today. We're still joined by Kayden Bissett, all the way from Alaska. Kayden, how you doing, man?
Hey, man, last off day, and I'm less than a week removed from going back to Texas, so I'm ecstatic.
I'm excited for you to breathe this Texas air again, man. We need to get you back. And then we need to
Boys
get you
need
in
to go,
studio, too.
Boys need to go win a chip first, and then I'll be back.
Yeah, the job's not done yet. Job's not done. So let's get started with a little bit of Pac-12 news. First off, I did want to say thank you to everyone who showed support on our reels for our Texas State football preview, especially the Texas State one that went pretty viral, I would say, in the San Marcos area. So thank you guys for that. It got us a lot of followers. It upped our streams on YouTube and Spotify as well. So thank you guys for following along and liking the content. A lot of good comments, Kayden. I haven't seen many, or if any, bad comments at all so far. So I think we're doing pretty solid to start. How do you feel?
I will tell you they're coming at some point because there's no way to get away from them.
Yeah.
They're out there somewhere. But, yeah, no, great stuff. I mean, of course the Texas State one's going to do good numbers. I think that has to do with where you're posting from or where we're posting from. But regardless, more people listening, it'll just trend outwards and upwards. Twitter's been awesome. I saw even you were talking to a guy and dropped it in the comments to him, and he went and listened to it. That was sick. And he said he listened. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And he said he liked it too, so even better. I love the support, and I love getting the pod out there. It's fun to get out there and publicize it, and I think we're doing pretty good. But let's get into it. Episode 3. No Solo today. We were originally planning on having a volleyball preview today. There will be no volleyball preview today with Solo out. That is kind of like our main volleyball guy, and I was kind of hoping he would lead this ship on that because I don't know anything about volleyball. Kate, I know you know quite a bit as well. So, but I would not be able to navigate that one today. So we'll save it for the next episode, and we'll also have football superlatives out. We're just gonna have like a kind of a little fun episode today. We're gonna talk about players that we're excited about in any sport for the upcoming Pac-12 sports season, and then we're going to end it with some expansion talk. So, Kayden, you ready to get started, man?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So the first piece of news I have is that the American Conference, they one up me, brother. They clapped back at me pretty fast.
Wasted no time.
Wasted no time bringing John Gruden, Mr. Football, by the way. I would say maybe besides John Madden, I would say maybe John Gruden is probably number 2 in Mr. Football all time. He appeared at their media day. And what makes it even worse is, like, this is after I slandered the Pac-12 for not having a media day and doing, like, these little podcast releases, which has been fine. I've listened to a few of them. I've enjoyed them. But it just kind of stings a little bit. Point for the American. We're tied up going into the football season, so yeah.
And not only that, the only reason I knew that he was at media days, John Gruden that is because he opened the biggest box that he's ever had from the American, and it was their new American Conference mascot.
Yeah, they really brought it. Yeah, and I don't know why a conference needs a mascot. And it doesn't really look that good for it. I mean, it's an eagle. It's pretty easy to nail an eagle, right? And I feel like it was like kind of a joke, but
I think they were just kind of forcing it, but trying to do something that got clicks and views, and it definitely worked because it showed up on my feed. So
yeah, it showed up on mine as well. So again, a win for the American. We'll leave it at that. But let's get into some more fun, kind of aesthetic news. Washington State, new football locker room. They posted a few videos of it yesterday, I believe. As at the time of this recording, they released it yesterday. Holy cow, man. Talk about state of the art, man. And I obviously this is the way that college sports is going, where like you have to have like the flashy stuff to kind of get recruits in. But obviously it's different now. Like money talks more than anything. I think a nice paycheck goes way farther than maybe like a fancy locker room. But But either way, still a very cool locker room. It's going to change the dynamic of that football program definitely for years to come, especially with the way like sports science and sports medicine's going. Like all that recovery stuff is incredibly important. So, what are your thoughts on the new locker room, Kayden? I thought it was awesome. It looked sick.
I mean, very rarely do you see a new locker room and get disappointed. A renovated one, especially. It's super sick for Washington State. Guess what's about to happen? The recruiting's about to get even stronger. It's a new league. They're going to be more competitive in it maybe than they were in the original Pac-12. It's huge for Washington State. Facilities are such a big part of this transfer portal and NIL world, and I understand why it is that way. You got to have the facilities to take care of your guys, and they've got it now. I mean, we all saw it. It's legit up in Pullman.
Yeah, it's been unreal. Talk about quite the transformation as you go into this new conference. No more Pac-12 news, so we will get right into some players we're excited about this year, Kayden. I'll go first. I previewed him a little bit in our football preview when I talked about Boise State. I can't get enough of Dylan Riley from Boise State, the running back. He's a junior. Last season, 1,125 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 5.8 yards per game last season. Yards per gain last season for Boise. He's nicknamed the Jet. And I was watching some of his highlights, his tape last night. I came up with the analogy that he runs like Forrest Gump. You know how it's like as soon as he gets the ball, it's all business, and we're just running straight. We're not really so worried about lateral movement. You see a hole,
north to south, baby.
North to south. That's right. But even so, like even there's not a ton of lateral movement to his game, but even like the little bit that is there, he's pretty dangerous. But if he gets a straightaway, there's not a guy on any field who's going to be able to catch him. I think he will be the best running back in the Pac-12, but I think he's going to be one of the best running backs as well, just overall in college football. I think this is a guy who will make noise come draft season, like March, April. I think he's going to put up ridiculous numbers this year. Boise State's going to lean heavy on that run game, especially with kind of the limited pass game you have with Maddox Madsen.
No, dude, sounds exciting from what I'm looking at. And we know Boise's going to run the ball a lot. They're going to lean on that. So it's one of, 4 to 5 schools that are going to run the ball this upcoming fall. And, Boise's probably going to have one of the better attacks.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that's just kind of their game anyways. It's just that head down, like you said, north to south, run the ball football. And I don't know, I'm excited for it. All right, Kayden, who are you excited for?
I'm going to stick with someone that I talked about in the preview as well, and it may be a total bust. I'm even mentioning this, but from Washington State, the guy coming in out of UC Davis, Kayden Pinnock. When I just looked him up and was looking at his numbers at UC Davis, man, I was really impressed by what Kayden Pinnock can be. And I know there's still a quarterback battle over in Pullman. It's still up for grabs, that job, and maybe Pinnock runs away with it. I would hope so. I mean, he seems like maybe the most electric guy in the room, but, that's what camp's for. That's what all the work is done beforehand to find out who it's going to be. And I'm banking on Pinnock. I really want to see Kayden Pinnock out there. He was highly decorated out of the Big Sky his last year, right? So I think he could be the dude for Washington State.
I think he can too. I really like that pick, Kayden. Also, too, just a unrelated note about him. I was playing college football 27 last night, and I was like, let me play as Washington State. And I was looking for Kayden Pinnock is not on the game. I don't know why that is. Yeah, it's strange. It's forgive me, I don't know his name, but it's the backup that they're I guess is competing with Kayden Pinnock for the starting job that is still in the game. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I was very disappointed to see that. I wanted to kind of sling it with Kayden Pinnock a little bit and maybe kind of get into the hype train a little bit. I was excited, but it's all good. You got anything else on Kayden Pinnock before we move on to this next athlete?
No, let's roll.
All right. So next one I wanted to kind of go into volleyball with the little research I did for the preview. From Utah State, 6'4" grad student Sophie Scott. She spent her last 4 years at Cal Berkeley, appearing in 62 total matches. Her career numbers: 178 blocks, 199 kills, and a .245 hit percentage. 6'4". She's going to be and a grad student. Listen, I don't know much about volleyball. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know anything about anything with volleyball. That sounds like a recipe for a disaster, like in the best possible way for Utah State. And they're already one of the best programs in the country. They finished last year ranked number 21. So by far and away the best program in the Pac-12 as we go into it. Texas State not far behind at 45. But then you start getting into these other schools who are like in the hundreds. I think one of them was in like the 200s. So it's gonna be a battle of two schools in volleyball this year, and I think Sophie Scott at Utah State is really gonna lead that charge in the Pac-12.
I mean, you don't know that much about volleyball, so looking at those numbers: 178 blocks, 199 kills. Yeah, that's really good. I'm not really worried about her swing percentage when she's getting 178 blocks either. Yeah, no, that's really impressive. Man, I am excited for Pac-12 volleyball too. Me personally, I started covering volleyball at Texas State, not this past fall, but the year before that as well. So I've been an avid volleyball beat reporter and just watcher for the past 2 years now, and man, I love it, especially at Texas State. I know we're not previewing volleyball today, but yeah, Utah State's going to be in there, but Texas State as well. They're going to be really good. They're always loaded up, and
even with some transfers going out too.
Yeah, and I imagine Boise's loaded up too. I mean, it's Boise. Come on. I'll stick with football. Nah, screw it. I got to talk about my boy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oregon State baseball. Fresh transfer out of Long Beach State, Jackson Baker. He actually been playing summer ball this summer in Alaska here in Palmer with the Matsu Miners where I'm broadcasting, and got to meet Baker over the course of this summer. Unfortunately, and I have beef with them because of this. Oregon State shut him down. They made him go home early because, well, he was just absolutely dominating the league. It really wasn't fair, and there was no reason to keep him up here. But talking about Jackson Baker, the dude, he was really working like fastball, changeup, and maybe a curveball. I mean, every now and then. And that was at Long Beach State. And so what happened is he got here this summer. He wasn't coached that great at Long Beach State. He got here, and now he's got the curveball and the slider working. He's a lefty. He's throwing about 93, 94 off the bump. He's actually from Paloma Valley High School in California. And apparently, yeah, you might not know this either because I didn't at first. He's technically TikTok famous. Paloma Valley baseball. Apparently, they were super TikTok famous, and Jackson Baker was a part of that. He was originally committed to Oregon, got his offer stripped for an injury, I believe, but Long Beach State, now at Oregon State, first day of the transfer portal open, they took him. He signed with Oregon State. The Beavers are going to be ready to go, locked and loaded in this new Pac-12. And also, the reason why he left Alaska early, he had 48 strikeouts in only 6 starts, and he leads the league still. He still leads the league, and no one else. There's one guy on this top 5 right now that could catch him, and this guy's going to get one more appearance, and he's still 13 strikeouts behind.
So he's not going to catch him.
No, second place is 12 strikeouts behind. And these dudes all have more appearances than him. So, yeah, I mean, if you're an Oregon State Beaver fan, you should be excited about your pickup in Jackson Baker.
They're pretty legit, right, in baseball?
2 national championships. Yeah, they're
pretty legit,
of the 2000s. Of the 2000s, I'd consider them a college baseball blue blood.
That's insane. I don't know that much about college baseball either, so that's insane. I didn't know that. So we got college baseball royalty in a conference. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Dude, yeah. Beaver fans, Jackson Baker, he may be the midweek starter, but I've seen him pitch time and time again. He's certainly capable of being a Friday, Saturday guy.
That's great, man. Well, hopefully we get him in a few starts down here in San Marcos, and we'll be able to talk about him and hopefully maybe get a few words with him.
Oh,
especially
dude,
since you kind of got a relationship with him.
Oh, that's my boy. That's Cheddar right there.
Let's get into this next player. I think this will be my last one. But I wanted to save the best for last. Because I want to make Pac-12 fans aware of this guy. And it is a homer pick. It is a Texas State basketball player. But I need the Pac-12 conglomeration to know about DJ Hall. DJ Hall, Kayden, I mean, does that name, what does that name do for you when I say DJ Hall?
A dude that could have left and gone and probably played in the Big 12, Big 10, maybe SEC. And if he stays at Texas State for 3 more years, he could go down as one of the greatest Texas State basketball players ever because, I mean, the dude is legit on the court. Sun Belt Freshman of the Year. That's only the second in Texas State's history. The dude, he's that guy.
He is that guy. So 32 games played last season, 15.6 points per game, 7.7 rebounds, and a 54.2% field goal rate. We all know him very well on this show, but again, introducing him to the Pac-12 fan base, he is fun. He's only 6'7", but he plays like he's 7 foot tall. And you will not find a more physical paint presence in this conference. And there was another basketball player I was going to talk about, Braden Huff. I'll save him for another day. I think DJ Hall is the biggest bully down low in the Pac-12. And he's surprisingly a pretty efficient shooter. At many points last year, he led Texas State in both points and rebounds throughout the game. And I was at almost every home game, and I just remember Coach Terrence Johnson singing his praises at every press conference. Like, man, like we can't do it without him. He just does everything. He's so good. And he was one of the best, if not the best player in the Sun Belt last year. I'll fight tooth and nail on that. And I'm very excited to see him get matched up with better competition. I'm really happy that Texas State is kind of getting out of the Sun Belt. Great conference, a lot of fun. Thanks, Sun Belt. But this basketball season is going to be one of the best in school, if not the best in school history, as far as like just the impact it's going to have. And I think DJ Hall's face is going to be all over that.
And well, I hate to harp on Texas State real quick here, but it's what we know. They've needed to be forced to be good at basketball. The Sun Belt wasn't going to do that for them. And, there's football and there's men's basketball, right? Those are the top two. And Texas State was showing no progress in basketball. Maybe they've had a good year here and there, but it was not looking good, especially the start of this season. And then DJ Hall was getting his feet wet. That's for sure what the first half of that season was. And then once he got going, when he was scoring, 20 and 12, it was pretty much over. They were winning every single game at home. And now they're going to be forced to be good. So, I do love college hoops, don't get me wrong, but it's not what baseball is to me. But, man, I'm excited about the new Pac-12 when it comes to basketball. And DJ Hall he's probably going to be able to lead Texas State going on the road or against one of these better teams. I don't think Texas State is anywhere near the middle or the top of the new Pac-12 in basketball yet. But I think DJ Hall's a guy that can lead them to go steal a game against that middle to top of the pack.
Yeah, I agree, and I think they can get there, too, by just playing better on the road. Obviously, playing at Strahan isn't a big deal for them. They had one of the best records in college basketball last year at home, but the road record was pitiful. I think only one loss came from home, and all of, I think they finished 18 and 12. The other 11 or 12 came from road games or neutral sites. So hopefully that's something that they can adjust this year, and I think they can. I agree with you, Kayden, that as of right now, as it stands, they're kind of, I would say, they probably top out at 5th, maybe 6th in that Pac-12 as far as basketball is concerned right now. But I think better play on the road can get them very easily in that middle ground, and not compete with schools like Gonzaga or Boise yet, but at the very least show that we're coming. And this is a really good recruiting class coming too. I think the team on the court this year will be the best team that Texas State has in school history. I'll call that now. But we'll leave it at that. I need the Pac-12 to be aware of DJ Hall. And that's really all I got on him. Kayden, you got anything else on him before we move on?
No, let's roll it.
Let's roll. Do you got any other players, or do you want to move on to expansion?
No, I was just going to talk football and just say... but everyone's already pretty much aware of of a guy, Bo Sparks.
Of
It
course,
seems like people are getting pretty familiar pretty quick, which is good. But then also, man, it's just still in the back of my mind, man. Malik Murphy, man, I need to see him throw the
You're
football.
obsessed with this guy, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, I've been following Malik Murphy since his freshman year of high school, which was mine as well. That was like 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So 8 years ago, I've known about this dude. Watched him throw the football like 70 yards. There's some crazy overtime video. But yeah, I'm excited for Malik Murphy football. He's got to prove himself. He's got one more year left to do it. And we'll see what happens. I'm definitely think Oregon State is rebuilding, but with Jamarcus Shepard, it's going to happen a lot quicker. But if Malik Murphy struggles, they got a quarterback room. They can just swap him out and go with the future.
I will say, though, too, something to say about that in college football nowadays is that it's very hard to retain, especially like a starting quarterback. So to see him like have the struggles he had last year and still stick with, the plan that they, the new regime and the new plan that they brought in, I think that's pretty honorable. And I think that I think it will help him. I don't think he would have stayed if he didn't think it was going to benefit him. And I think he'll be pretty good. I wish we would have had Sparty on to yell at you because he hates Malik Murphy.
Hey,
and
I will
been
say,
very fun.
He's also probably not transferring because that would be his fourth school.
Yeah, I mean, but also TJ Finley didn't really didn't really care about that. Man went to like 8 schools, Texas State being one of them. Oh my god! Alrighty, well let's move on to some expansion talk because I've been wanting to do this for a little bit. Where we talked about it a little bit before with Pac-12 expansion. So as of right now, it stands at nine teams, and give or take with baseball, some other sports or some other schools sprinkled in there. But as of right now, the 9 main schools kind of are what they are, and it'll be what it is. But I want to talk about expansion because obviously you can't be named Pac-12 with 9 teams. So and of course, in this growing landscape of college sports, conference realignment is something that we worry about every single year. So I wanted to suggest some schools and maybe propose to you, and to the masses, why I would want to bring these schools into the Pac-12, and maybe you can retort or agree with me. So whatever you want to do, Kayden, I'm totally fine with it. But I got 3 teams here that I want to bring into the Pac-12, and this would be like the 3 on my wish list. And we're being totally realistic about it. I'm not going to say like Alabama or like LSU. Like I'm talking like some schools that I think could take that next step in the Pac-12.
Okay, yeah, you start with one, and then I'll bounce back with another.
That sounds good. My number 1 team that I want in the Pac-12 are the Memphis Tigers. No one I want more. So if you want to add some culture to this conference, look no further than Memphis, Tennessee, man. They're competitive in football and basketball. They got good facilities that would host some really fun conference games. Simmons Bank, Liberty Stadium, their football stadium. So it's a cool looking stadium, man. The aesthetic is awesome, and obviously you have the FedEx Forum for basketball. And also too, some of the best food I've ever eaten in my life has come from Memphis. And I think it'd be a super fun city to travel to if you got Washington State fans or Oregon State fans who are coming in for a baseball weekend or coming in for a road away game in football or basketball. Memphis is the perfect weekend city. The perfect weekend city. Some of the best food, like I said, some of the best food I've ever eaten. Some of the most unique tourist stuff that you can do. And it's just the people are so nice, so friendly. I love the city personally. I've been many times, so of course I'm a little biased. And also too, I want you to do something for me, Kayden. Close your eyes real quick. I want you to imagine we're watching Memphis versus Washington State in Memphis. All right, we're at commercial break. We're flashing back on the CW broadcast, and you see the Bass Pro Shop pyramid coming back from commercial break as the broadcasters are coming back in, bringing us back into the game. It's 7-0 in the second quarter. Tell me that doesn't just tickle your fancy.
Chills,
right?
My eyes are actually closed, by the way.
Yeah, I was say wake up, man. Yeah, that is my number one team that I want in the Pac-12. I love Memphis. I'm kind of biased towards them a little bit. Like I said, I've been many times. I think it's a very underrated city, and I think it would just be a lot of fun to kind of see their, the popularity of their college team around the city and maybe even the state kind of grow a little bit, because also the uncertainty around the Memphis Grizzlies, and that's something for another time. It's not for this show. I think could really help them have something to lean back on. And if you have like a fun school that's in a good competitive conference, that is something a city like Memphis could lean on.
Yeah, I think Memphis is a great pick, and you know that they're trying to get out and go somewhere else, right? We saw them trying to get to the Big 12 really bad, and I think they're ready to go to a conference like the Big 12 that is proven a little bit more than this new Pac-12 is as of right now. It also got way more schools. That makes the conference automatically stronger when you've got more schools.
Yeah, when you got 16 teams compared to 9, yeah.
Yeah. I do think it's hard to tell if like somebody joins the new Pac-12 by, July 1st, 2027. It's really hard to tell if it happens that quick, because then you get into the whole conversation about, what is your contract with the conference? What is your buyout going to be? Like, for example, a lot of people talked about UTSA joining the Pac-12, which would be cool to have another school in Texas. Of course, Texas State's rivals, but they are going to owe so much money to the American Conference to leave. They're already broke and they don't pay. They don't have a good NIL budget. They have a terrible baseball stadium. So they really wouldn't want to spend all that money on a buyout. And if they did, they're idiots, right? There's no reason for them to not stay where they are when they can compete for conference chips.
Right.
But then, a school like Memphis, they're at the top of the American. We all know that. There's no reason for them not to try and go somewhere else. And I think the American has a really strong TV deal, but the Pac-12's is just a little bit better, right? The money, I don't know what the Americans, each member gets, and I imagine the Pac-12 may just be a little bit more, but there's not as many schools, so it could be a little different.
Yeah, and a little easier to maybe take over the conference, because like you said, you're already at the top of the American. But like imagine like being on the top of a conference with teams like Wazoo and Oregon State, Boise State, very prominent football and basketball programs, And I did have something on UTSA that we can transition to later if you want, but yeah, I think Memphis is a great pick for the Pac-12.
Yeah, 100%. I can go ahead and throw one out there that it's not like very thought through. It just feels very simple. It's Stanford.
Of course, yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
Cal too, right?
You could bundle them together. Man, I think that's fair.
Yeah, there's no reason to be in the ACC, right? We're talking about the Pacific and the Atlantic coast, right? I mean, what are we doing, guys?
Literally exactly opposite from each other. Like, couldn't be any
some
further.
Money, right? I imagine the ACC has more money than this Pac-12 does right now. That's fine. You're freaking Stanford, all right? You're Cal Berkeley. Like, you got the money, right? Come and save money when you travel. Yeah. How about that, guys?
That's kind of what I was thinking, too. Like, is the money really that big of a difference that, like, stuff that you're paying for, like travel, lodging, food for all these athletes when they're constantly traveling coast to coast? Like, I'm just wondering, like, cost efficiency there, but again, it's not on me to pocket watch, but it just doesn't make sense for them to be in the ACC. I agree with you, Kayden.
No, there's no reason for them to be going all the way over to Boston College or Florida State. Like, what are we doing, guys? Save some money. The new conference, and I think Stanford, specifically athletic-wise, not what they used to be, right? I don't know what's going on, but they're not the same. I think that maybe going down a step would allow them to go up again 2 steps.
Yeah, sometimes to go forward, you got to go back, and I think that would be the best like go back move to help you go forward. I agree.
Yeah, and I mean Cal, we saw what was it last year or was it the year before that? I want to say it was last year, like week 2, College Game Day went there, and it was like 5 in the morning on the West Coast, and they were playing Penn State. They were like 2-0, 3-0. That place is electric, right? They've held a college game tape. We know, Aaron Rodgers, Marshawn Lynch from there.
Jared
right? They've
Goff,
got good alumni, great alumni base. It'd be a great school to add, I think, and it keeps people on the West Coast like they should be. I mean, Texas State is in Texas. We're all the way in Texas talking about the West Coast, but we got a piece of the pie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think exactly what you said. To go forward, you got to take a step back first, and that's what I think Cal and Stanford need to do. I think they're the schools that jumped ship out of the old Pac-12, are much fitting for the new one as well, though.
Yeah, I agree. I think they would slide in perfectly and seamlessly with this new Pac-12. And I just think, like, even at the level they're at, which is, like, obviously they would come into this conference, the two best schools, immediately. They would run the show, right? But it also doesn't seem like it's that far off, right? Like a school like Texas State, Boise State, these schools from the Mountain West, like, it's not that far off. Like, and I understand, like, the resources is what does it, but I'm pretty sure Colorado State is operating at a much higher cost than schools like Berkeley and Stanford, Like, that's just, I mean, I don't know that at the top of my head, but, like, already it seems like these schools are trying to compete at that level, and I don't think it would be long before the Pac-12 would catch up with schools like Stanford and Cal.
Nope.
I did have one thing on UTSA. We mentioned UTSA already about them coming in. They are on my list, but just for silly reasons. So, and we'll go through it quick. So the main reason I have here is that it's kind of like Memphis, where it's like, besides the NBA, it doesn't really have like a team to sink into. And I think it'd be cool to see San Antonio kind of really, really embrace UTSA as like their own. I haven't really seen that yet. It just kind of seems like a very niche, small fan base that, I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know. Maybe it's just like where they play games. Like the environment just doesn't seem fun. Whatever. But I also think it would be really fun. And this is like kind of my funny one. Like, imagine someone like Isaac Melcher like mingling with like a Washington State fan. Like how like just for that alone would be the reason I want it. But yeah, that's really all I got on UTSA. I don't have much. I don't like them at all. It's a school that's never caught my eye. It's a school that never really seemed like that serious to me. So, like, why reward them with something better if they can't do anything with what they have? And I know it's not much, but it's just not that
I'll tell you what, right now, if you're listening to this, look up their basketball gym, and then you'll just look at that right there and see that they have no business being in the new Pac-12 because of their facilities. Also, look up their baseball field, too. Trash.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of like a mid-level high school. Like,
and then people will tell you, oh, well, they play in the Alamo Dome. Like, sure, it's cool. They rent it out. It's not even theirs. Yeah, I mean,
it's lifeless. It's not
football.
Theirs. Yeah, it's just like in Texas, you can't put that in the Alamo Dome, like the very like bland, boring Alamo Dome that you don't even fill out the lower bowl for any of your games. So like it doesn't create a good environment. I just like, yeah, they have a lot of stuff they need to work on before they would even consider that. I think changing the facilities is number one. Do you got another school, Kayden, before I get to my last school here?
Honestly, I don't really want to keep picking at the American because I know what their buyouts are and they're all super high, and that's where most people are looking towards, like especially like North Texas, maybe too.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
Trying to get another foot in Texas, but honestly, not really, because it's really hard to say. I mean, I even feel like outside of Cal and Stanford, there may be just one other school that left that comes back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who it is. But I just have a hunch about it, and because it's obviously not going to be the big dogs that are now in the Big Ten, I don't see that happening.
No, you hit gold going into the Big Ten, especially with the recent success of the conference.
Yeah, and then Big 12, I'm thinking Colorado, BYU, Arizona State, Arizona. I mean,
Colorado would be one that would come back. Like if I had to pick one out of that group.
You were thinking that too?
I was thinking that, yeah. I was
too.
Yeah, just because like I don't think like they've necessarily match the success that they need to have. And I don't know. It just seems like football has kind of been a disaster since the whole Dion thing, and basketball has never really been serious. They've always just kind of been like a program and like a team that can maybe get you some upsets. But I mean, besides that, yeah, it seems like that could be a cool that could come back to the Pac-12. But I just think the Big 12 it's just too easy of a moneymaker for them. Like, why would they leave? And it's not like they're going to kick them out, So, yeah, get that bread. But I got one more school.
That was my exact thoughts. It's just too easy to make money in the Big 12. You're making more money. It doesn't really matter.
It's unlimited money.
Yeah, unless their donors are like, hey, you need to like start winning or go somewhere where you can, or otherwise we're out.
Right.
Then they would do something, but it's probably not going to happen. So
yeah,
I mean, they got that deal with Monster, and people were hating on it. They just got more money than your conference, right? They're first
that's
ones
true.
to at least get everyone else paid.
Yeah, that's true. And I saw a clip of Baylor practicing basketball the other day on Twitter, and people were absolutely crucifying the Monster logo being on the court on the free throw line. And listen, I understand like the purists and stuff who just want to keep all that stuff out of the game, but like this is how you bring eyes to the sport, and what brings money, and it's how you can get good players in the door, and it's what keeps your program relevant. So unfortunately, it's just one of those things that like, yeah, is it aesthetically pleasing? No. Is it peak capitalism? Yes. But your team is good, so who cares, right? Like, all right. Well, I got one more school that I want to hop on real quick, and then we'll hop off, Kayden, for the week, and then we'll let you lock in your last few days in Alaska. This one I think could actually very seriously happen within the next year. UNLV. I hesitate to pull another team from the Mountain West, but I think that this should be, if they are going to go that route, that this should be an obvious choice. Las Vegas, obviously the epitome of entertainment in the country. The Pac-12 basketball tournaments are already being played there, right? So what more needs to be said? I don't know. I just think you bring in a market like Las Vegas into the Pac-12, that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like that. I'm thinking football-wise and basketball. I know they got Dan Mullen as a coach. They've been so close to winning the Mountain West. Unfortunately, Boise State just happened to still be in the conference. That's pretty much the luck that they just happen to run into. And I like UNLV as a pick, too. I'm not really worried about picking from the Mountain West, and I'm not bothered by it. I think it's a school that could be on the up and up. They've got the money. They've got the success. That's a big thing. And while we're on the topic, remember they just put their basketball team, quote unquote, up for sale for $10 million.
That's right. Yeah. Should we start a GoFundMe and we can run the the Roaring Rebels?
And then the coach posted like the next day and was like, "Oh, we're sorry, we're not selling the team." People didn't get it. They were obviously saying, "You donate $10 million, we're going to give you some benefits," but.
Right, but it kind of essentially is ownership, right? Like, I mean, you're paying for the team. You're getting benefits of it.
Yeah, think about the big donors at like schools like Texas and Ohio State. I mean, there's a group of very wealthy people that are pretty much just owners.
Yeah, and whether you want to call it that or not, it's exactly like what you said. That's what it is, because it's these guys who are funneling the money into the program. So it's. There's really no other thing to call them. I think donor is just kind of a fancy word for owner.
The second NIL entered the world, and then teams started getting general managers, that's how you know they became organizations and brands and not college football programs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a totally different landscape now. But yeah, I think those would be three pretty good teams that enter the Pac-12. Obviously, UTSA has their issues. If we're just talking about like the Texas connection, though, of like wanting one more team in Texas. Go ahead, Kayden. Sorry.
No, you're good. Finish up. I have one team, though, in my back of my mind.
No, go ahead. I was going to wrap it up, so go ahead.
North Dakota State. Give them 2-3 more years.
Yeah, I agree.
Give me the Bison.
Yeah, I agree. I would just love to see Texas State in the Fargo Dome, like if I'm being honest with you, I think. Yeah, there's absolutely no benefit to it I mean, for them, obviously, it would be, and it'd be a lot of fun for the Pac-12, but I just think that seeing G.J. Kinney like at the Fargo Dome would just kind of be very funny. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a place he would ever like willingly be.
No, I do. Yeah, I think you give North Dakota State 2 to 3 years in the Mountain West, and I think they're going to be very successful. I think they have a chance to win the conference in year one, and
I think so too, man. I think their FCS history is going to carry over.
Yeah, I think they're just going to be very dominant coming in early, and they may start turning into what Boise State was in the Mountain West, and be able to jump ship sooner than later.
Yeah. I did have some honorable mentions for basketball only, St. Mary's or Creighton, and the only point I have on that is just for my selfish, gluttonous college basketball fandom. So that's really all I got on that. But just to a wish list, a short little wish list of. Kayden, do you got anything else before we wrap it up here on the third episode of Pac-12?
Hey, the fourth episode that hasn't obviously not been recorded yet, but it'll be the first one with all three of us in person, because I will be back in San Marcos in probably about 10-ish days.
I'm excited to have you back, man, and I'm excited to get that episode shot. But I'm glad that you took the time to get this third episode filmed with me before you start this grind of calling baseball games. So thank you again, Kayden, for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me. Thank you all for listening to Pac-12 Pod. Give us a follow on our socials at Pac-12 Pod. You can follow us on all of our personal socials as well. I won't say them all because I don't know them all, but enjoy the rest of your afternoon, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day, wherever you may be listening. And this has been Pac-12.